the peasant farmer walked into the archbishop's residence. Clutching a bundle of blood-red roses in his tilma. He opened his tilma, and the dozens of blooms dropped to the ground. As they hit the floor, the bishop and clergy gasped in surprise.
The farmer glanced at his cloak in confusion. There, newly emblazoned on his tilma, appeared a radiant image of the Virgin Mary. The tilma seemed to glow with holiness, and it felt soft as silk, despite the coarse material. The archbishop dropped to his knees, stunned.
The lowly peasant farmer was suddenly struck with a deep feeling and reverence of humility. He had no idea how the image had gotten there. As it was woven into the tilma and had not been there before, the bishop begged for the tilma, sensing its holiness, and displayed it in his church.
It's a pretty crazy story, but I don't understand why this tilma is so important.
The tilma might seem pretty simple, but it's still incredibly important to this day.
One inexplicable facet of the tilma is how long it has lasted. The tilma was made of natural agave fibers, which typically deteriorates within 20 to 40 years.
But this tilma has lasted for much longer, right?
That's correct, Joey. Juan Diego's tilma has lasted for nearly 5 centuries, about 490 years.
Did it affect anything else?
Yes, it made a huge impact on the country of Mexico itself, resulting in the mass conversion of millions of indigenous peoples to Catholicism.
That all happened within a decade after the miracle occurred in 1531, right?
Yep. The miracle also bridged the gap between the indigenous and Spanish cultures.
Since Mary appeared as an indigenous woman, it allowed indigenous peoples to see a familiar face while accepting Christianity.
Our Lady of Guadalupe also became an endearing image for the people of Mexico, becoming a Mexican symbol of unity across regions and classes even to today.
She is still a powerful symbol for Mexico to this day. The basilica dedicated to her attracts millions of pilgrims and visitors each year.
Our Lady of Guadalupe is widely seen as the patron saint of Mexico and Central America, and is a symbol of comfort and strength for the people of Mexico.
Wow, that tilma sure is cool. But why does it matter? Is there even any symbolism behind it?
Great question, Joey. There's actually tons of symbolism behind the tilma.
I think we should go over what the symbolism behind it is.
Starting from the bottom, Our Lady of Guadalupe is standing on the moon, symbolizing that God is greater than the Aztec gods.
But obviously he is.
Well, some people in that time didn't know that, or they weren't exposed to the religion.
What is carrying the moon Mary is standing on?
An angel is, and the angel is carrying Mary, which represents heaven, and the angel represents the earth.
So it is showing that there is a bond between heaven and earth.
Okay, but why does she have a belt on?
The belt she is wearing represents her pregnancy with Jesus.
How does a belt represent that?
The Aztecs at that time used a belt as a way of showing pregnancy, so that is how this symbol reached the Aztec people.
While we're talking about the Virgin's pregnancy, we should mention the sun's rays around her, which was an Aztec deity at that time.
The sun rays get brighter the closest to her womb, which is also a symbol of her pregnancy with Jesus.
Do the stars on her robe have any symbolism?
Yes, they are the exact constellations that appeared in Mexico on that day.
But the view of the constellation is from outside of our planet.
I also see her hands are in prayer.
Yes, she's praying in the picture.
Also in that area, there are her eyes, which are looking down.
When people zoomed in on her eyes, you could see 13 figures, which represented Juan Diego, the Archbishop of Mexico City, and everyone else who was there. But it was from the perspective of Mary.
Really? That's crazy.
Oh, and probably the most important thing of all, her skin tone is the color of unity between the indigenous and Spanish people.
This tilma is miraculous and all, but what can we take away from all of this?
The main message of this miracle is that God calls all of us to participate in his plan.
That's right. Juan Diego invites all of us to embrace God's plan for us, even if it may seem hard or easy, impactful or not impactful.
God works in mysterious ways, and each and every one of us, no matter your class, race, or social status, has a role to play.
That's all for now, but remember, God has a plan for you, and it is your responsibility to embrace and participate in it.